Russia has launched its first major attack in months on the village of Avdiivka. But things are not going well. Ukrainian and Western observers noted large losses of Russian vehicles and soldiers. One analyst told Insider that this shows Russia hasn't learned from previous major defeats. An analyst said Russia suffered heavy losses in its intense effort to capture the Ukrainian village of Avdiivka, showing that it had not learned from previous defeats. Riley Bailey, who works at the Institute for the Study of War, told Insider that Russia's attempts to attack Avdiivka went badly because it failed to adapt since its large-scale invasion in February 2022. The chaotic mechanized attacks we're seeing around now, very disorganized columns, armored vehicles being stopped and shot down by Ukrainian forces, are reminiscent of many the attacks we've seen on Russian side. This is the beginning of a full-scale invasion, Bailey said. Western observers pointed out Russia's huge losses around Avdiivka, where Russia could not make significant progress despite sending a large number of soldiers and vehicles. Bailey noted Russian efforts in another nearby town, Vuhledar. Russian attacks here ended in defeat and massive tank losses earlier this year. This should have led to a new approach. But instead Russia has not learned a lesson on how to properly conduct mechanized maneuver warfare, he said. A frame from Ukrainian footage released on Sunday shows burning vehicles near Avdiivka. 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade. British intelligence said this was likely Russia's most serious offensive operation since at least January. Ukrainian officials described the relentless attacks. Ukraine has repeatedly said it has pushed them back and prevented Russia from being able to encircle Avdiivka. No major breakthrough by Russia was reported, which suggests that the claim that Ukraine is holding the line is true. Analysts at the Atlantic Council said Tuesday that Russia has achieved only limited advances, despite very significant losses in both men and equipment. U.S. and other Western officials sometimes offer more modest assessments of the damage Ukraine could do to Russia. Ukrainian troops shared of intense and destruction of Russian vehicles. Bailey said Avdiivka proves that Russia has not addressed persistent, widespread systemic problems in its offensive campaigns. And instead of resolving those issues and then launching a larger offensive operation, they continued to launch the offensive operation anyway. Avdiivka is a gateway to Russian-occupied Ukraine, making it a huge prize for both sides. Ukraine retook the village in September. Bailey stated that Russia's struggle there was immediately met with setbacks, resulting in losses of soldiers and vehicles. He said Russia later became quieter in what he called Ukraine's regrouping. Since then, Russia's attacks and losses have increased again. Russian attacks on Avdiivka contributed to a 90-in